So imagine you have a network that is connected with data center. You have different branch locations, and those branches are being connected with the WAN circuit that we have, which is MPLS in the backbone, or we have internet, which is connected there. So two backbones, which way one is internet, MPLS, and this is how the traditional network has been connected, right? So in this case, you imagine you are a IT manager, and based on that, you have 50 branches across. Every branch depend on the MPLS. Your SaaS applications are slow. You have a cloud app which is basically laggy. You have a voice calls that is being dropped, right? If there is any failure in the link, then it's a single point of failure, right? And then we'll have different problems associated. What are the problems that we generally encounter with this traditional MPLS WAN circuits? One, when we talk about the SaaS apps, is being slow, right? When we talk about the video calls, drops are there. We are not able to prioritize. Link utilization is a problem when we have two links, but we are using one. Then we will have like a single point of failure. When one failed, then it's completely black hole. Generally, it's a hub and spoke architecture, right? Traffic is being backhauled to the internet through via the data center, right? And then we have a problem with the manual configuration all across because there is no automated solution. There is no centralized access in which we will able to do anything like in terms of do the automation and then monitor end-to-end traffic because we are dependent on the internet and the MPLS circuit providers, WAN providers in between. So also we have something, let's say we have a new branch that is coming up, right? There is a scalability issue. We need to do a manual configuration and redistribute all across everyone, right? So scalability and flexibility is another issue that we will have. So we also have a problem with no application aware. So in terms of routing perspective, when we have a different links available, when we have a different kind of traffics, when we have any kind of performance related issue, like for example, cloud based or performance based, that is where we are facing issue with, right? So in terms of no application aware routing means whenever we are having different kind of traffic associated with that and different kind of traffic as in we have voice video, we have network control traffic, we are not able to prioritize that. Even for example, you have a data traffic which is completely relates to your availability of your bandwidth, but when we do not have bandwidth, in that case we are not able to steer the traffic with the other link which is having a bandwidth, so there is no monitoring. We are not able to use any kind of links which is, for example, not able to load balance across two. PBR is there, policy based routing, we can do it, but that is a static way to do. So always the next hop will be static, it's not a real time. So with the growth of internet, right, with the growth of the all the services which are in general is going towards the SaaS based application rather than going towards the data on-prem data center which has earlier been hosted. In that case, what was happening here is we need an internet service which is not backhauled at the data center, right? We need to have an internet circuit on-prem. So that is what we mentioned as a direct internet access. So when we have a direct internet access, in that case, what we'll do, we need to have a firewall in place that involves cost, right? And that firewall will connect to our internet, and then all the services which are required, so that will be directly going towards the internet. So that gives a massive shift of the what happened to the internet, right? We need cloud and SaaS based internet, low latency traffic, Office 365, Azure, GCP, everything is hosted by internet. So earlier it was in the data center. Now it is moving toward the SaaS base. We need high speed internet traffic, right? Also, we can say that we will have a downtime. In terms of downtime, we need a zero time downtime. Now we'll see that what SD-WAN is giving us. So when we talk about SD-WAN, so first of all, it will give us a cost optimization. So how it will provide in cost optimization? We will have, let's say, branch 1, branch 2 will have the headquarter and data center that is connected over the WAN circuits. And then we have a branch which is there, and there is no MPLS provider. So if there is no MPLS, right, in that case, how we'll connect? So there is an option that we can go and connect our branch using any kind of LTE or 5G services. Without an MPLS or without a lease line, dedicated lease line, we can also connect our internet via our branches via any of the LTE or 5G connectivity. This reduces the cost of any of the high expensive MPLS links. So we have MPLS internet and 5G cellular connectivity, which reduce the cost. Also, we talk about whenever we talk about SD-WAN. So SD-WAN in general is a SaaS-based application. So SaaS-aware routing, you can say that. It understands whether it's a voice-based or video-based or ERP-based or whether it's a SaaS-based applications, right? And then we are basically route that using application aware. So for example, we have voice where we know that it's a low latency traffic. So in that case, what will happen? So if when it's a low latency traffic, your branch should understand, okay, this is the traffic which required low latency. At the same time, for low latency, we need to have a link. That link should have minimum latency or delay jitter, right? So who will do that? So branch will have the capability to understand which link to steer the traffic, right? At the same time, when we have any kind of data traffic required high bandwidth. So the branch will able to know about the links in which it will able to know that, okay, which link is least fill. Based on that, it will steer the traffic from that particular branch using that link. So this is what makes our apps to get different treatment, right? This is one of the best feature that we have. And then we will have a controller. From a controller perspective, it will have a visibility in terms of each and every devices. So controller is basically the software defined capable, right? So when we talk about the software defined capability, so we can say that we will have a complete visibility. We can have a zero touch provisioning. We can do a routing based on security perspective. We can configure it, automate it. From a controller perspective, it's a single pane of glass, and then we will have a complete visibility end to end from a controller perspective. In terms of automation, when we talk about from a controller, it will able from a single pane of glass, single source, we can automate using templates within configuration files to each and every devices centrally. And then we can say that, for example, we need to troubleshoot or we need to onboard a device. What we need to do? Controller will authenticate that device and then will able to do the onboarding of that particular device. For example, there need to be a troubleshooting, right? So we need to do a troubleshooting even from the controller perspective. When we talk about onboarding a device, right? Earlier in a traditional WAN circuit, what we are doing, we need to send someone to the site and then manual configuration is required. We need to advertise those routes, right? So that everyone will able to know, okay, this is the branch that has been there, right? But in case of SD-WAN, whenever a branch is coming up, so controller will able to validate that branch. Validate as in controller will able to check the serial number, everything, authenticate that device, and then it will onboard that device. Once it is onboarded, then what will happen? Controller will able to automate that device in terms of, for example, configuration perspective, right? It will push the configuration, device is up and running. Once device is up and running, your LAN is there, you have routes. We will have a separate control plane and data plane. As a result, the control plane will advertise those routes automatically to everyone. And once we will have the routes all across the branches headquarters, then we can build the data plane. So having a controller in terms of a centrally managed device, that will help us to have a central visibility, a single pane of glass which is providing everything from a controller perspective. From a branch perspective, branch is doing routing, right? Branch is capable of doing security. So it will provide you end-to-end security as well. So as good as your Palo Alto or Checkpoint or FortiGate firewalls, branch itself will have all the capabilities. Then branch will able to do an application aware routing, right? So it will steer the traffic as per the requirement. It will understand that what kind of traffic that we are having, and based on the traffic requirement, we will able to push that traffic over that particular link. At the same time, it is also checking with an SLA what is the SLA of a particular link. Based on that link performance, it will able to know about, okay, this is the link that has been there, and based on that link, I will able to steer my traffic. So end-to-end complete visibility of the entire network. We'll also have an upgrade. We can do an upgrade from central, right? So when we're talking about a branch, we connect that with a link, and then we have another branch which is LTE based on, and then we will have a separate control plane, right? Which is, for example, we have a controller. So we create a separate control plane from the branches, so that will able to advertise those routes. Based on that control plane, it will able to push the configuration, everything, and that is secure. It is an IPsec and TLS based. We'll have separate data plane as well. As a data plane perspective, it's also secured tunnels that we have. Based on the secure tunnels, we are sending the data. So what it is happening when a branch will able to send the data end to end, right? So what is happening is branch send that data. Earlier, what happened? Branch connects to a POP location, and we hand over that traffic to any of the POP, any of the MPLS or internet link, right? So we do not have control of the traffic. So we are just sending the traffic, and based on the traffic, MPLS provider or internet provider will route the traffic to the destination. But here what happened is, due to the tunnels that is been there from a branch to headquarter, right? Let's say we have a tunnel that is there, branch to headquarter, our data plane traffic. From a branch perspective, we encapsulate that data. We encapsulate with a whatever tunnel is being there with different vendors, different kind of tunnel that is being available. Now, when branch encapsulate that packet and then send it, so we create a tunnel end to end. As a result, we can prioritize that particular traffic, right, from branch to the headquarter. How we are prioritizing? We are able to identify what kind of traffic it is, and based on that traffic, we have the underlay links. Underlay links are basically the internet, MPLS, or LTE, broadband, anything which provide a reachability. Once we have those reachability, what will happen? We will able to steer the traffic. Now, how we are steering the traffic? We are steering the traffic using application aware, which is the USP of SD-WAN. So once we have, it will securely send the data towards the end host, right? So branch, what makes it dynamic path-based path selection, either MPLS or internet or weighted round robin based on the available bandwidth. Real-time traffic monitoring we will have, like latency, packet loss, we'll have jitter, we'll have like application-based traffics.